Hello and welcome to the Day Break Podcast, episode 42 for the week of December 6th, 2015. I'm your host, James Lee. With me today, we have Ravenstorm and Max.
Hi there.
And Max Lee. Not...
Hello?
No relation.
Yeah, again, no relation.
I gotta remember to do that because we don't...
Have you guys been getting tweets like OMG or you brothers?
I don't get tweets at... Oh, Max
exactly.
I get tweets sometimes, but not from people that ask who I am.
Isn't it going to be great when people actually do tweet you and ask, like, are you the real James Lee? Or are you the real Max Lee?
I am the James Lee on Twitter.
I am not the Max Lee.
Yeah.
You're not? There's another one?
So...
No, I got no idea.
Yeah. So, how are you guys doing? How's your week
Excellent.
Been? Pretty fine.
Anything new? Anything new from you guys?
Who's first? I don't want to...
No, go ahead, Ravenstorm.
Oh, okay. Well, I've been doing pretty well. I got my hands on a Novation Launchpad this week. And it is... if for those of you who are unfamiliar with what a Novation Launchpad is, it is a 64-button grid-style MIDI controller, specially developed for use with Ableton Live, which is a musical production software. And it is a charming device. It's basically like best controller for the most creative rhythm game ever invented. That's the way I look at it. Some of these have, I think we've mentioned this before, some of these MIDI controllers have been made with fight stick buttons.
The MIDI fighter.
I think that would be crispy and fun to play on. But in the meantime, I have... Oh, and it lights up, by the way.
Oh, that's fun.
Each of them have an RGB LED set behind them. So, colors.
Speaking of which, this year was the year of RGB LEDs.
Indeed, it probably was.
Yeah,
it seems like that the technology got really cheap.
Well, I don't know. I think it's just like gaming hype. Like, because remember, I think it was last year when Corsair teased their like RGB LED keyboard.
I mean, it's just better. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I mean, it's like, why would you have to pick colors when you could just use any color you want? And then everyone was like super hype about it, and like, you know, and then Razer's like, hey, we're gonna have our own, and then
theirs is GGG.
Just green, all green.
You can pick how much of each kind of green you want.
Yeah, no, they actually do have their own green ones, which sucks for me at least because I have an Orb Weaver. Which is one of those gamepad things that are almost completely useless, but I like it because it's small and compact. And I bought the original one, which is in green, and then this year they released a chroma version, which has the RGB LEDs. Asus actually, like the motherboard manufacturer, the computer manufacturer, actually released an RGB motherboard, which has like an RGB header on it.
Whoa.
So you could, like plug RGB LEDs directly into your motherboard and control it via software.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's just like, it's funny. It's just like, it's not a terrible thing. Like it's not like it's taking away anything from anything, right? I mean, it's just like more fancy lights, whatever, right? It's not like you're trading, actual performance or feature function from it. Although I know Corsair's headphones were having issues, or not their headphones, but their keyboards were having issues.
I'm glad I went with the Ducky Mini.
Oh yeah, that's
Good
like
choice.
a two-tone thing.
Yeah, it's only two-tone, which I don't get. Honestly, it's like they could have done it. They could have gone with the green LED, but they didn't. It has red and blue, but not green.
I think it's like an
step
electronics. Like when they made it, it was probably like an electronics issue.
I think so.
They didn't have the circuitry or the parts for it, possibly, at the time.
I mean,
Well,
it
I'm
is
just
an
glad the
older
technology
model.
is out and everyone can use whatever colors they like.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah. It's just funny seeing all these rainbows everywhere.
Isn't there a type of Boeing plane that uses RGB LEDs for its lighting now?
Really?
A what?
Like, or
Interesting.
either they started production, or no, I mean, not actually modified their planes already, or will be, in which, well, let's see, LEDs are power friendly and all that. They'll have it so that the colors will change depending on whether it's daytime or nighttime. If it's nighttime, it'll be like a dark purplish, so that bulb will be more comfortable sleeping. And while daytime, it will be your typical white or white yellow day colors.
What are these again?
The Boeing passenger planes, they'll just replace their
Boeing.
normal
Okay.
lights.
Okay.
Normal lights with LEDs, RGB LEDs.
I feel like there's a lot of flight codes involved with that because, like, I think you have to have certain colors on your planes, don't you?
No, dude.
No.
I don't think so. I think he means the
interior.
Interior
Oh.
lighting.
Interior. I meant.
Oh,
interior.
jeez. Okay.
Yeah, you're not gonna
I'm
like.
dumb.
It's not gonna be like port. Port is like a lime green.
Can you imagine?
Starboard is now like Marsala.
Can you imagine just like some Southwest plane flying into your SFO or whatever, and like you see just like this rainbow of colors, just some flashy pilots just like, woo, look at all these RGB LEDs.
Like the whole thing
hilarious.
is covered in LEDs.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I was considering getting a strip of LED, like a strip around the top perimeter of my room to be LEDs, because I don't like the overhead lighting I have in my room right now. It's a little bit too harsh. Just kind of like it's not very even, really.
I would recommend that if you do that, make sure to build a light box for it. Basically, just take a couple like maybe 2x1s and like create a place for the LEDs to sit, so you're not directly looking at them. So it just casts ambient light upwards.
Yeah.
Super stylish.
Maybe like cover it with paper or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or just something to mask the direct LED.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, if either of you want to buy me a very unreasonably expensive Christmas present, you can buy me the Philips Hue starter kit.
Oh yeah, those are pretty freaking cool.
Philips Hue. Oh. It's like a $60 light bulb, but it's an RGB Wi-Fi controlled light bulb, which is an Internet of Thingsy addition to household life, I guess.
Grant Webster, our audio editor, I guess, at least our music editor for this podcast. That's his official title now. I'm calling it right now.
Music editor.
Like sent me a photo of him. I think he was in like Home Depot, and they had a ton of these Philips Hues lined up, and it just said, "Weh, weh, 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 weh."
Hell yeah!
I thought that was pretty funny, pretty clever.
That sounds funny.
Not really clever, but still pretty funny.
They are. What do you think about a $70 light bulb? Like
that's a very expensive light bulb.
Is that like okay? So like think about this. You're like, yes, it is RGB, but is the technology really to the point? Is it the technology really this far behind so that just doing that simple thing will cost the average person $80?
It depends on the use case, because most people are going to leave their lights at a single color, and then that's going to be it. I could see, certain people like photographers for sure, utilizing RGB LEDs.
Mm-hmm.
But like for the average person doesn't need a RGB LED.
No,
like for their lamp or whatever.
Of
it's
course
a
not,
niche
but
product.
Yeah,
it would be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it would be like having Flux for my room.
Oh,
you know that program?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you introduced me to that actually.
Flux is a great program. It's saves your eyes at night.
We should link them in our description, because
I might.
That's actually something that's really helped me personally.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, speaking of more lighting, because we're just gonna talk about lighting for the next like 5 hours. No.
That's fine.
God.
Have you guys heard of bias lighting?
No.
No.
You may or may not already be using it. It's basically lighting behind your monitor.
Yes.
I would recommend you implement bias lighting into your workstation. Just like it just really helps you. Like it's just really easy on your eyes at night when you're staring at a monitor.
Indeed, I will do this as soon as possible.
Literally, like all it takes is like you just put your lamp behind your monitor. That's what I did before, and now I have some LEDs, RGB LEDs.
I need a new LED strip, because the one I got on Amazon, it was cheap, maybe $6 or something for the big strip. The lights are extremely weak.
Oh. Yeah, you get what you pay for, I suppose.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether I turn it on or turn it off. With it there's gonna be no difference because of how weak it is. Ugh.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, like it's that bad? It's
Like I could see there's light behind, but
like it just colors them instead of actually casting off light.
yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, the screen affects my eyes the same way either way. So I might as well just turn on the lights in my room because the LEDs, I think they're just there for show considering how weak they are.
Too bad.
Yeah, so get good, powerful, pricey ones if you want useful backlighting.
Yeah. Normally I would recommend, like, I'm using IKEA deodors. It's like a $40 LED kit from IKEA. Normally I would recommend it, but there's a couple issues. Is that like it's got its own proprietary connector sort of. So it requires physical hacking in order to control it via software. So yeah, I would for the regular user, maybe for someone who doesn't like tinkering around with just like simple RGB LEDs, I would recommend deodor. But if you're like me and you want to kind of customize things the way you want it to,
Not the best choice.
Not the best choice, because ideally I want an adaptive bias lighting system, because like basically what would happen is
you could do that with like a Raspberry Pi real cheap.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of people have done it with Raspberry Pis and all that. And I might just scrap this deodor LED kit, use it somewhere else, and then get an entirely new LED kit. If like adaptive, meaning say I'm playing Battlefield 3, right? Infamous for its like blue filter, right? The RGBs, the LEDs would just like be blue. And then if say like I'm on like a snow level, it turns white, or if I'm like
you could have
it's like in the fall it turns orange.
Something
like
listening, like some sort of event listener, looking at the average color output of your graphics card.
It's actually I think it's actually a feature built in DirectX.
Really?
Yeah, you just draw colors from like the color values from the game, from your from the software you're doing or the display itself, and then it just adapts it properly. I've seen demonstrations of it. It's just I haven't gotten around to like properly finding the right equipment. I don't think I could do it with my strip, but
harder to implement those things than it is to imagine them, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. Another idea of mine was fun with LEDs. I should if I had enough some time and like a bit more, a few more tools in my tool cabinet, I might like do a write-up on like fun with LEDs. And like just write about cool ton of fun projects using LED things. Like another one I wanted to do was an equalizer. That'd be pretty fun. Or not an equalizer, a visualizer, sorry. A visualizer. The one that, pump like that just like visualizes your music, right?
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough with the lighting topics. We have actual topics to talk about.
Yeah.
I think no, go ahead.
Yeah, and other than the Launchpad, which I'm actually starting to write up an addendum projects page for, just because it would be interesting to record my progress getting better with it.
Right. Yeah.
Also plowing through my MOOC. I am part of Harvard's CX50X through edX, doing their online course, and I am a couple weeks behind, and it feels bad.
It's okay.
I've learned a lesson from that, luckily. And right now I'm just sort of plowing through. Before the podcast, I was actually re-implementing the game Breakout, which is kind of cool.
That's fun. That's cool. What's Breakout, by the way?
It's that game. It's the game where it's single-player Pong versus a wall.
Love that
Traditional wall-breaking game.
Yes.
Yes. Did you know that Steve Jobs and Wozniak were behind that?
What?
They were hired by the guy who created Chuck E. Cheese to create that game.
So Chuck E. Cheese and Apple were behind Breakout.
Yeah. Okay. No.
The
So
Chuck E. Cheese Apple
the Chuck E.
conspiracy.
Cheese guy, he called Jobs into his office and said, "Okay, I want this done. I want this. I want to make this single player game. Please do this for me."
Mm-hmm.
And Steve Jobs got Wozniak to do it, but instead of telling him that there was a bonus for every chip he used under 50, and instead of just telling him you have as much time as you need to do this, he said do it in 4 days, and didn't tell him about the bonus.
I thought
in true Jobs fashion.
I thought it was the Atari guy who hired them.
It's the same person, by the way, Nolan Bushnell.
Wow.
Chuck E. Cheese and Atari both had the same founder?
It was the same guy, yeah.
And now both are relics of the past.
Today I learned something new.
Snap.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yes, but anyway, and he got it done in 4 days.
That's pretty cool.
And I'm gonna redo this with a bunch of snippets of code from Stanford's project library. It's a little C-based GUI. That's kind of nice. You can do graphical things now instead of just staring at a terminal window.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, nothing too exciting.
Actually, that reminds me of like that little thing we had. Like I think it was yesterday where you consulted me about this about some work you were doing.
Yep.
Because as a matter of fact, that's almost to a T the exact same code I was working on. I was working on a couple months ago, I think.
Really?
Yeah. So like you were in effect you were taking like the exact same course as I am, except you were paying nothing for it as opposed to me paying a lot for it.
I think that's really cool. In a sort of odd way, that's really cool.
Yeah. I think that's very impressive.
I was just thankful that you could help me. That was something.
I was thankful. I was also thankful that I could help you because I wasn't sure if I was qualified enough to do it, but turns out I was. Anyways, actual topics this week. I don't know if you guys saw, but there was a little trailer video thing of Amazon kind of like talking about their drone delivery system.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen this?
Yes,
Ooh.
I have.
It features Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear. And
do you know that Amazon picked those guys up?
Yes, they did, and they're going to do their own show now.
It's got a huge budget, by the way.
Yeah, it sounds very expensive. I mean, anything that involves lots of cars, especially supercars.
BBC's Top Gear didn't actually have that large of a budget. It had about maybe half, or even smaller than what Amazon's giving them.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, that's BBC, right?
Oh, true.
I mean, it broadcasts literally all over the world, whereas Amazon is just like, hey guys, by the way, we come with your Amazon Prime, please watch us. We're not, you could watch this stuff too, and also get free 2-day shipping. By the way, Ex Machina is on Amazon Prime to stream now. So if you have Amazon Prime, I would highly recommend watching that. It's a brilliant piece of film.
It's a beautiful movie, great story, and usually I don't care for movies that much, but that is one of the exceptions.
Yeah.
It is a... Yeah, go ahead.
I think it falls into one of my top 2 movies of this year. The other one was The Martian. I think I enjoyed The Martian a lot.
You can't put those things on the same level.
Well, no, but those are my top 2 movies. I don't watch a lot of movies, but...
How true.
I mean, that's until Star Wars comes out, right?
Ooh. Speaking of which, when are we going to see that?
I bought our tickets for the 18th.
Okay, rad. So is that... Which day is that?
Friday. It's actually the second day because, I mean, it premieres Thursday night, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm literally taking a final that night, so can't do that.
Right.
Same here.
Anyways. So the Amazon Prime delivery system is like, it's really, like, the way they conceptualize it was really interesting. So you put in an order for whatever you're buying, right? And then some Amazon employee at their warehouse throws it in a box, and then they put it in like a drone, and the drone looks pretty big as far as I saw. I mean, first of all, it's got it's the box size varies, right? The example they used was like a sneaker, like soccer shoes.
Yeah.
For a child, but that's pretty. That's still the size. That's a shoebox, right? It's pretty. It's not too big, but it's big enough.
It's a package size.
Yeah.
Like that's the size. I get smaller packages from Amazon all the time.
Yeah. That's the size of my computer.
Because I don't spend that much money. I'll add on items.
All add-on items. I think there's actually a website where you could it will tell you like what stuff you could throw into your Amazon cart, so you could get to that $35 free shipping threshold.
Mm-hmm. That is a useful website.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but I digress. Anyways, so like I think the payload, like the max weight is like 5 pounds, which is pretty good. And then it flies away from the Amazon factory, Amazon warehouse, and like it shoots up pretty high. And then using fancy software and technology, it finds its way to your house. And I believe what you do is you set a little mat with the little Amazon logo on it in a safe landing spot, and then it will land there, drop off your package, and then fly away. And obviously this isn't for 2-day shipping. This is for people who live in Seattle and use Amazon Dash. Yeah. Yes. No, that's literally it. Yeah.
You need to live within 15 miles of an Amazon warehouse to be able to use this service.
Right.
That's start.
What I've heard. Yeah.
I mean, that's just the pros of living near Amazon's warehouse.
I mean,
otherwise, there's no real advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of which, actually, Newegg, if you ever order something from Newegg, shipping is actually really fast from there. I've gotten packages like way earlier than I expected them to from Newegg. If you're in California, that is. So. Yeah, that was almost all that I recall talking about this week, or making note of this week.
I think we can actually talk about drones a little bit more because I've been doing more research on that.
Sure.
Recreational drone use, anyway. So apparently, the starting point that is most recommended across the drone-related forums is just one of those little tiny toy drones, like one that'll you can fly around your room and get used to the mechanics of a quadcopter.
That's the main point of it, right? Just to learn how to fly a quadcopter.
Exactly, and it's interesting because the experience on these little mini drones, like the Hubsan X4, which is the most popular one.
How much is that, by the way?
It sits around, I believe, around $43.
Wow,
not bad.
It's
very cheap.
I was actually considering getting one.
Now you got me considering getting one.
Yeah, it's a very cheap startup to get into that hobby, and after a while, you can buy kits for a first-person view drone for
FPV.
$700. $700, including the goggles and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I know. Go racing.
I know the popular one. I don't know if it's the one for racing. Is the DJI Phantoms?
No, those are for filming.
Those are for filming. You're right, because they have little gimbal on them, and then yeah.
There was a new one, I believe.
A new Phantom, or
no? I think from the same people.
Oh, from DJI.
I might be mistaken.
I think DJI also works on other things, but I forget what. It was something fairly obscure.
Drone videography, by the way, is really cool.
Yeah, have you seen? Yeah. No, go ahead. I think I know what you're talking about.
Scenes that have been filmed with drone videography.
My favorite one is, it was taken almost a year ago, was during the New Year. I think, or no, it might have been more than a year ago. I think at this point. Was a fireworks display.
Mm-hmm.
It was the most it is way better than anything I've ever seen, because when you see, it's a funny thing actually, because watching fireworks on a screen from the YouTube footage that I saw was felt more realistic than just watching it in person, because when you watch fireworks in person, you're thousands of feet away and it's basically 2D. But when the drone pilot flew his drone between all these exploding fireworks, it was 3D, and just watching 3D fireworks was the most cool, the coolest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
long for
imagine
the.
that. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say like I long for the day we could just watch VR fireworks.
I was gonna
Oh,
say that. I was gonna say that drone videography mixed with 360-degree stereo VR cameras is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think they just came out with a disc, like some sort of memory that can hold like a surprisingly short amount. I'd say just a matter of a few hours
Uh-huh.
of VR footage. And that got me thinking about just how much resolution is needed and just how much uh, data is going to be needed to simulate, a 360-degree field
Yeah,
of
it's
view.
it's
yeah.
360 degrees like throughout, and it's ridiculous. It's a lot of stuff.
A lot of data, like 2 megapixels is your monitor screen right now.
I
I think,
forget
right?
like what
Do
two?
if you have a 1080p, it's two
Yeah.
megapixels.
All right.
And there used to be cameras that you'd like buy for $300 that would take 2 megapixel pictures.
Mm-hmm.
You get one full HD wallpaper. That's
It would still look like crap though.
insane. No, yeah, but that's like that was a consumer point and shoot back in 2007, you know,
Yeah.
or 2000. No, 2000, like 2005. Point is, technology will move fast, and by the time I think that we will be able to get our hands on VR, that will already be pretty mainstream.
Yeah. I am so I've I think I like it has to be said. Like I have to say every single time VR is mentioned that I'm so excited for this coming spring.
Can't wait.
Like it like you don't want to say I don't really like saying the little tech buzzword paradigm shift, but you
Oh,
know
it's like moving from radio to television.
this going like
It's
to quote the super dank meme is like this is gonna be good.
Oh.
indeed it is.
Oh boy. Without actually trying it, I'm still extremely skeptical. So.
I actually I'm I should really pick one of these up. I should really pick up a Google Cardboard.
Mm.
Because did you know that you could actually, because these things are cheap, you could put it on and it works with most Android phones.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there are millions of or not millions, but there are hundreds of variations of them you can find on Amazon.
Right, yeah, for very cheap. I think the
Mm-hmm.
only problem is finding the right lens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you, I was looking, I was like, I was watching, looking, browsing the web a couple of days ago, and I came across, I came across a YouTube link, and then on my phone, and then I opened up the YouTube link, and on the bottom right hand corner there was a little goggle symbol, a goggle sign, like a little symbol with like Google Cardboard, and if you clicked it, you would actually be able to view 360-degree video, and like I sat in my swivel chair at work, just kind of just like pointing my phone around directions, and it actually changed the perspective while I was, while the video was playing.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
I love the YouTube 360.
yeah. So I definitely want to do that with Google Cardboard.
Hmm.
Okay. I think that was it for the, yeah. Anything else? Do you still want to talk about drones? Like anything else you
I
want
think
to?
I kind of do because there's another bit that I've been coming across, and that is the fact that we don't have any regulation on these things. I don't know if we talked about that on here
I think the
before,
We
but
might have.
The FFA, I did release some. I could
okay,
pull them up right
that's
now, just
that's good.
because yeah.
We have
So
the. Oh yeah, go ahead.
um, yeah. So you have like there's like a couple of guidelines. There's a few guidelines, several guidelines that say fly below 400 feet and remain clear of surrounding obstacles. Keep the aircraft within visual line of sight at all times. Remain well clear of and do not interfere with manned aircraft operations. Do not fly within 5 miles of an airport unless you contact the airport and control the tower before flying. Do not fly near people or stadiums. Do not fly an aircraft that weighs more than 55 pounds. And don't be careless.
Okay, well that's more like guidelines. I think but like, what are the penalties for these things?
Oh, I have no idea.
Because
I'm sure a lot of
oh,
these become really, really, really terrible really fast. especially the the airport ones.
Yeah. I think I'm very glad that they've released something.
Yeah.
The
It's really
issue.
cool actually. I could actually send it to you guys right now. It's like this. It's just like this really cool. It's almost. It almost looks like a. It's like a retrofuturistic propaganda picture. It looks really cool. It's like a little I fly safe, uh, you know, image with like a cartoon, like a drawn drone on it. It looks super awesome.
Nice.
Where is it?
I just messaged you guys. Anyways, yeah. So there's some regulation, and the issue is that, like, I think the issue is that just people are just gonna be assholes about with drones.
Some people already are.
It's like because it's becoming very popular, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like people are just it's pretty good that people are getting into this hobby, but there's a lot of people who are getting into this hobby without knowing what you should be doing before. They just kind of buy it
Right.
and then just play around with it without knowing the rules,
Mm-hmm.
or without even knowing that there are rules, and then they just become assholes about it, and then that's probably a bad thing.
And some people intentionally break the rules. Like, do you remember when there was a forest fire and a drone kept the fire aircraft from reaching the fire?
I did not read that, but that sounds terrible.
Yeah, like the helicopters and such were not able to move because there was a large drone in the area. So I think that was also part of the reason why regulations were being made.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a. I'm just gonna go ahead and say what I am thinking. It's a tool for terrorism.
It is possible.
It like honestly,
Sure.
the thought of drone terrorism is frightening.
Sure. I mean, like domestic or foreign doesn't matter, right?
Yeah,
It could
no,
be
it doesn't-
used
it
for
doesn't
bad
matter.
things.
It's also because I'm learning a little bit more about computer science, and I'm learning about system vulnerabilities and just how prevalent vulnerabilities are, and how easy it is to crack into things if you are of a certain experience level, and just like havoc could be wrought very
Yeah,
easily.
for sure. I actually saw. I don't know if you guys saw. There's this image of this this military drone, and I'm not talking about drones with giant guns on it. It was way on the other side of it. It was a tiny little thing. It's the size of it's the size of
Like a small bird, right?
yeah, like even smaller than that, really. Yeah, like a small bird, smaller than your palm, really. It fits into the palm of your hand, and like yeah, it records video, does all that. Can you imagine? Like that thing is invisible. Like after a certain point, that thing is invisible. You cannot see it.
Yep.
So, it's crazy how and people. I mean, a lot of conspiracy theorists are like, man, the government could use this against us. Spy
Well, that's
on
why
us.
that's why we need everyone needs to buy a shotgun so we can go skeet shooting. That's one reason that the Second Amendment is a little bit important, because
So you
it
can
turns
skeet
out
shoot.
that shotguns are actually very effective against drones.
That's what Borderlands taught me. That shotguns are very effective against flying objects like rack. Of course,
Tiny drones.
It's
Straight
kind
out
of funny
sci-fi.
that this is the point that it's gotten to. It's
what
like,
that video game
no,
just teaching
you-
me about firearms? No.
I mean, like, I mean, that's kind of awesome.
I mean, it's a very. I was being kind of facetious. So it's like,
Oh, of course, of course.
but that was another thing I was concerned about when Amazon talked about their drone delivery. It's like, what's to stop someone from just shooting down their drones and picking up their packages, picking up people?
I have a rebuttal question. I'm going to answer that question with a question.
Go ahead.
I'm going to question that question with a question. Okay. Sometimes Amazon's delivery people, I think On Track especially, will just drop something at my door.
Yeah.
What's to say someone won't just wander by and pick up my package?
That happened to my brother.
Nothing.
That happened to my brother. He ordered an
Right.
Xbox 360 controller, came back and was gone. He now like schedules his deliveries.
Yep.
He just says, "Here, I'm going to be home at this time. Come by and get it at this time," which makes sense because I mean, it's not like it's going to get any there any later. Well, depending on if it's after operating hours, but
Right. But the point is that that's just a lot more trouble to go to.
Yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to take someone's package, that's a lot more trouble to go through.
Rather than just stalking the UPS truck and then picking it up afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to be careful about ordering stuff on Amazon and stuff like that, because whenever I order something, and it usually gets to my apartment around like 5 p.m. Oh, well, I shouldn't tell people when my packages arrive. Otherwise,
well, now you have.
Don't want for all you package thieves listening.
I try to get home by the time around the time my packages arrive, and I kind of base my ordering scheduling off of that.
Really?
Given 2-day shipping, so if I decide I want to be home at this time on this day, I will order this today or 2 days beforehand. So I could have it on this day. When you have such convenient shipping methods as Amazon does, it's so easy to just micromanage it and just tailor it to your schedule. It's great. Anyways, Max, you want to talk about some Super Smash Brothers news?
Yes.
Well, actually, let's start with the good news. Let's start with the good news.
Good news?
Well, for Smash 4.
Good news?
There's a certain character that's coming to Smash 4.
This is kind of old, but okay, Cloud from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I just knew him as the guy with the huge ass sword.
I mean, there's a few of those guys in Smash already, but I think everyone was surprised because Cloud was just a joke character. Like back in Melee and Brawl, people would just say, "Oh, hey guys, what if Cloud's in Smash?" But now,
what if Sonic was in Smash? What if Pac-Man was in Smash?
that Sonic rumor was in since Melee.
What if the Duck Hunt dog was in Smash?
I don't think anyone ever expected that one, but
I just want to see the Goomba get into Smash, and so it's sort of like Jigglypuff, except really slow motion, and
really
if
heavy.
you manage to just tap someone with yourself, then they instantly die.
But you're so slow, and all it takes to kill you is one jump.
One jump man.
True glass cannon, but yeah. I never played Final Fantasy VII, so I can't really feel strongly about it. However, the
looks like
good
a fun
part
to play
about
character, I think.
I guess another surprising thing though was the fact that Sakurai was able to keep the character completely a secret. Every other character was leaked. Cloud is the only one that was not leaked. So I guess that's also why everyone was caught so much by surprise. So
that is actually very surprising. I think that almost everything gets out these days, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh,
pretty much.
I actually almost hate this. I don't want to do the media, buzzword thing, but this leak culture, where there's people just leak everything and then nothing's a surprise anymore.
Yep. The thing is,
ruins the hype.
No, but that's the thing. Ruined hype is good.
I think ruined hype is great.
Because honestly, hype is a tool for misleading people.
It's literally just marketing on steroids.
Yes.
At the same time,
it's important because now we live in this era of social media, and the thing is with the social media is that people take it very seriously, and having hype is bad because then everyone takes everything very seriously. But with a leak, it's just and it puts you in this position of a superior position where you can make a more informed and objective choice.
And for the Smash community, though, considering a fighting game community runs on hype of any sort, since if the character was going to be announced without the character being a huge surprise, just being leaked, it kind of ruins the moment. No one's really able to be all that interested in the character. Like Cloud, when he was announced, everyone was shocked, said, "Hey, it's Cloud. It's a guy we never expected." But when say Shulk or whatever other character was leaked,
Mm.
the Smash community seemed to be just really annoyed with all the leakers.
I see.
Spoilers.
So
yeah, it's
it
basically
really,
spoilers.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, I see how that could be a
Oh,
problem.
no.
The thing is, like, I just don't go seeking these things out. So, like, I could have known everything there is to know about Fallout 4. I could have known the ending, like, on the day it came out,
Oh
basically.
yeah, for sure.
But I'm not going to look for that. And I guess when you participate in a community, you can't avoid knowing about that sort of thing. But
So the best
can't you
thing to
just,
do
like,
is to not.
turn a blind eye to it?
Well, kind of hard to turn a blind eye when you're always in the community for other reasons as well, such as looking at events or tournaments. Like,
of course, no, and that's what I was saying. Like, it's very hard to avoid it, but like, is it really hard?
I wonder. We'll have to ask our friend Ben, because he has not watched a single piece of TV spot or trailer of the new Star Wars.
oh, so he has absolutely no idea what's gonna happen.
Well, I don't think any of us really know what's going to happen, but he has tried his hardest to not see what characters or what what little snippets we've gotten from the trailers.
So if we tell him there's Jar Jar Binks, would he believe us?
Probably.
He believed I was
I think,
Canadian for the longest
honestly,
time, so
it would be easy enough. It would be easy enough. You could just like Photoshop Jar Jar into a screenshot from the trailer, and it'll be fine. We could probably do it.
That's already kind of been done.
Really?
I think there's a poster like
terrible.
Yeah.
the film poster with with every face replaced with Jar Jars.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I just like I don't really care for Jar Jar, so it's just like whatever. It's just I don't know.
I watched through our video podcast from last week.
Oh, so good, by
And
the way.
It was good. But the puns, man.
They were out of hand. They were out of
They
hand.
were complete. Honestly, we stopped like every 20 seconds to make a pun, and it returned to the same few puns. And I'm not
like
I'm not going
whack-a-mole.
to say it wasn't great because it was great, but
Watching you lose it, like when Taylor made that last pun, was probably one of the best things of that podcast.
it was painful. It was painful.
It was delicious.
Yeah. No. Anyways, so, like we were saying though about leak culture is that it depends on what you want to be leaked or not. For example, if I was in the market for a new phone, I would like to get leaks so I could figure out, this phone is coming out soon. Does this phone look like crap? If it does, then I don't have to worry about it. If it does look, if it doesn't, if it actually looks good, I might have to, I'd rather wait a little longer to get that instead of, whatever's out now.
I guess it depends on the product then. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
yeah, as you said, with your example of a phone, you don't know whether or not it's going to be good, so a leak will tell you. But going back to Smash, everyone's already going to get Smash. It's already going to be good. So when a leak spoils the best stuff, it kind of makes it not as good.
And especially for Smash too, because before I was like super active on the internet, when I had Super Smash Brothers Melee or even Smash 64, I didn't look up, how to unlock this character. I just played the game, and then suddenly, you get that notification saying a challenger appears, and then you get so excited. Like, who is this gonna be? Like, there's no better feeling than when you're just playing some Smash with some friends, and then suddenly, boom, Luigi, and you're like, oh my god, we gotta fight Luigi.
Nice.
That's a great feeling, and I could see how all these leagues could take that feeling away.
Mm.
So, yeah, I could understand. I get it.
I guess it just depends on product. So, where were we? Project M?
Bad
Was that the
news.
topic?
Bad news.
Yeah, bad news. Okay, so for those who don't know, Project M is a mod the biggest mod for Brawl to turn it into basically a sort of melee with, of course, additional features. Let's see, roughly a year ago, I'm just gonna go through the whole legal issues.
Try to keep it quick.
All right. It's okay. A year ago, when Nintendo started participating into the competitive scene, Project M was no longer allowed in the big tournaments, nor was it allowed on Twitch for a while. Whatever. And then this week, or earlier this week, the Project M development team, PMDT, they just all of a sudden, while releasing updates, they just shut down. The website just goes to a thank you page and then contact info to their lawyer, and they would not explain it to anyone.
Which,
everyone was angry about, because the Smash community does not like it when someone's not transparent about issues. And then a former member of the development team decided to leak a build, which then a new team, calling themselves Evolution, decided to pick up. They go from where Project M ended. They had to shut down as well when the original PMD team told them about things, and while the new team didn't get all the info, there's some stuff they have told us.
Rumors?
What? Not rumors, actual information.
Go ahead.
One, if the development continues, they won't be threatened with a CND or something. They will be going straight to a lawsuit. Every member of both teams, not just the old team, but the new team as well. Two, there are 3 companies that are threatening them with a lawsuit.
Whoa. I have a couple theories about that, but go on, keep going.
Well, that's pretty much it. Fortunately, though, there was another team that completed a build using all the leaked info, so at least we get what was announced. So,
okay.
That's
all right. That's all right then.
Yeah, that's all right.
And then we're done, and then that's it.
Yeah, but 3 companies threatening young adults or teenagers with $1 million lawsuit, that's some serious.
That's scary,
shit.
right? I can see how that's pretty scary, and I mean, no one wants to be, sued for stuff like that.
That's why they shut it down immediately, out of nowhere.
So okay, so what? 3 companies? What are your? Okay, so obviously the first one's Nintendo.
I mean, it has to be. It is their game, so even if they didn't want to do a lawsuit, they probably have to.
Well, okay. Would it be Nintendo and HAL, the developers of Smash, or would it just kind of fall into both?
I think Nintendo and HAL would just count as one in this situation.
Okay.
Another one, maybe Square Enix. I'm not sure if one of the new Project M characters was a Square Enix character, but it's possible considering how Cloud is the recent Smash 4 character and all that. And Pokemon would still fall under Nintendo, so okay. And a lot of people were thinking possibly Konami.
Konami.
I mean, Konami has no part in Smash anymore, but
Snake.
Yeah, they're obviously trying to burn down every bridge and the rivers.
Burning rivers, shore to shore.
They're going to burn down the whole planet when it comes to their connection to the normal video game industry. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're one of them.
That just reminds me of how, like, if you're like a traditional gamer, you just buy your games, right? Buy your game, $60, whatever, $15 on sale, and then you just play them.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine like doing that your entire life and then suddenly going to mobile gaming and just like microtransactions everywhere, free to play? It'd be terrible. That sounds horrible. But go on. No, like, anyways, that was just something.
That's pretty much.
That's what Konami is moving towards. Okay, so first of all, it's very buttery, a lot of popcorn for all this drama. One of the side effects of having a very passionate community is that it goes both ways, right?
Yeah.
When they get mad, they get really mad.
Oh, everyone got really mad. In fact, uh, two of the leaders of the original team, uh, they were arguing with the leaker and even called him a cunt, like directly on Reddit and all that. So, and in American English, cunt is a pretty offensive swear word. So,
Not in
every
Australia.
yeah, not in Australia, but over
Apparently.
here,
Yeah, go on, go on.
it's
Just go
obvious
ahead. Just
that
go ahead. Go
everyone
ahead. Go
was
ahead.
just
Okay.
filled with adrenaline.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of scary business, and you can't blame them for just shutting down. And then which leads me to be just like, okay, so yeah, they're faced with lawsuits and they gotta shut down. Like, what are you gonna do about it, really? I mean, you're gonna get mad, and then nothing's gonna come of that. So, like, just calm down, right? Because you got these kids on the internet who just play way too much Smash all day. That's all they do. That's all their entire lives. And then suddenly, this gets shut down, and then it affects them so much that they're gonna go on the internet and start just like typing angrily, at complete strangers because they owe them things that they apparently they owe them things, right?
Yeah, and yeah, someone actually talked about how it seemed that the Project M community was really entitled to updates. How they just felt like they were owed every update.
Let's take a look at this objectively. This is a free mod for a game that is how many years old? Like 10, maybe almost 10.
Probably
Like
probably not 10, maybe 7, 8.
7,
But
8. Okay,
close enough.
several years old, right? And
Yeah.
they're like they had to basically reverse engineer an entire video game, I imagine,
Well,
to mod
not
this, right?
not quite, but pretty close.
Right.
Since it is not a mod friendly game.
Regardless, it is a lot of work to do this,
Yeah.
and they're not getting paid for it. First of all, like, this thing is free. You could download it wherever you want. It's a mod, right?
Yeah.
And then and then suddenly you're facing all the you're undergoing all this stress from lawyers and all that, and then you're like, finally you've had enough, and you're like, okay, I can't do this anymore, I'm done. And then people are gonna get mad at you. Like, what do they think? What's the logic behind that? It makes no sense that people get mad over a free service stop being free.
I think
Yeah.
I think the two
Yeah.
problems was just because one, it was incredibly sudden, as in even the team, they were just working on it, and then boom, one day their lawyer told them that 3 companies were going to sue them for a ton of money. So they were shocked, and two, they said absolutely nothing about what the problem was.
Well,
They
of
didn't.
course
They
you
didn't
can't say
talk about
anything though.
companies or anything.
Well, of course you can't say anything. In
Yeah.
lawsuits like that, you're not allowed to. It's like that's how lawsuits work. You can't,
Yeah.
like, there's non-disclosure agreements, and you're supposed to hear those, otherwise you're gonna get your ass sued. Like, what do people not understand about this, and why are people getting mad? Like, I mean, of course it's disappointing. Of course,
Yeah.
like, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, and that's it's honestly too bad. But there's people shouldn't be getting, like, they shouldn't be blaming the developers over this. And that's the other thing, right? It's not their fault that they had to stop development.
Yeah.
You could tell, like, those guys are very passionate about what they do, especially considering they've been supporting this mod for so long. It's not like it's as if the players feel that the developers personally wanted to screw over the players by seizing development. Like,
No, that's
no,
not how
that's
it
not.
works.
That's not. No, it's not. So it makes no sense why it. Yeah, I'm really good at ranting about these very passionate video game communities because sometimes they act so terrible, and you got to call them out sometimes. And I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm not doing anything on this podcast like doing it, but like it helps to inform people.
Although finally, it looks like the community has calmed down and looking at things objectively instead of completely emotionally. So
Knee jerk, right?
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's a complete knee jerk, circle jerk reaction.
Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah,
Well-
it's nasty business all around, and
Yeah.
at least we
So
got a lot of Project M out of it.
Yeah, At least there is a complete build with new characters and basically everything announced and then some with the fixed leaked build.
And all complete, all good to go.
Well, besides 2 characters, but they're not as hyped as the 2 that were finished. So we're all good. We're all good.
Yeah. So that's not going down. There's no way that's going down. People are gonna share it, however they can.
Yeah, people are seeding torrents, putting it up on Mediafire, Mega, and yeah, there's no way to shut it down anymore.
Can't stop the signal, Mal. To quote Serenity, but.
Well, so since I mentioned Konami, I was going to segue into the next topic.
Right.
But
I could do a quick thing. I could do real quick.
All right.
So this week there was the Video Game Awards, basically, and it's this is kind of new, I think, to me at least, because I don't remember it being so high profile as it was last year, if it was even here last year. It seems very official.
It was here last year.
It seems very official compared to compared to what I heard of it last. Because so many companies do, end of the year awards, right?
Yeah.
IGN, PC Gamer, whatever. They always try to, end the year with their Game of the Year choices, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess this one seems a little bit more official. It's official when Valve decides to put up a Steam sale for it. That's what I based my official status on it. So there's a Steam sale on it. I'm like, oh, well, I guess this is pretty important. So anyways, Metal Gear Solid 5, I think, won a couple awards, or at least one.
At least one reward for action adventure game.
Right, and that's basically that's, oh my god, why can't I remember his name right now?
Who, the actor?
No,
director.
Director Kojima, Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima's that's his love child. That's his child, right? That's his baby, and he's been working on that for several million years, and despite his last game in last Metal Gear game probably ever, winning this award, Konami barred him from even attending the awards.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we know this because the announcer is actually
let us know.
He's not just the announcer. He is
the host, right? The host of the
host, producer. He, with his own funds, he creates the video game awards.
Right, and he came out and actually informed the rest of the audience, saying Konami would not let Kojima attend this.
Yeah. And the audience booed Konami.
How is that possible that they can prevent someone from attending an award?
Because he's still technically an employee.
Are they gonna
this
shoot
entire
him?
podcast has taught me Japanese lawyers are pretty hardcore.
Japanese companies are pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
And not in a good way.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, it's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn.
So just, I think, I want to say that's the epilogue of the Konami Kojima saga.
The fiasco.
Yeah.
Let's just call it the Konami saga.
I would love to watch a film, just a documentary on Kojima. That'd be fun.
I'd watch it.
Hideo Kojima.
Directed by Hideo Kojima, yeah.
And written. Starring.
Yeah. That'd be pretty funny. That'd be pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
There's a book, though, I think, that Taylor told us about.
Book?
Yeah. It just talks about, Metal Gear, basically.
All right.
Yeah. Is there anything else that notable this week?
Not that I know of.
I guess I could talk about one tiny little thing. Was Indivisible, which is a little RPG. It's an RPG made by the guys who made Skullgirls. What, Zero Lab, Rat Lab, Zero Lab?
Lab Zero.
Lab Zero. Ravenstorm, have you played Skullgirls?
I'm familiar with it.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't played it.
Okay. Yeah, they made a fighting game called Skullgirls. Hand-drawn animations. Features girls. And then now
and
they're
skulls,
making
occasionally.
I think so, yeah. And so now they're making an RPG using the same style, basically, hand-drawn, all that, which is nice because I'm really bad at Skullgirls, and this is a little bit easier for me to play. There's a demo on Steam that you can try out. But anyways, there's an Indiegogo campaign for it, and I think it got funded actually.
Yeah, it beat the minimum funding.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
It's less than $20,000 away from getting one of its stretch goals, which is it is an animated opening by a mystery anime studio, which is
they already reached their first stretch goal, which was like 90 minutes of music.
Yeah. Anyways, it's just a game that's that reached the stretch goal.
Ravenstorm, what'd you say?
It better be Gynax.
Gynax is kind of dead nowadays.
No,
it should be Gynax's spiritual successor, which is what James is going to say.
Yeah, there's been rumors of Trigger. Trigger doing the animation, which if you're not familiar, they did Kill la Kill, pretty critically acclaimed, and Gurren Lagann.
I've seen it.
Gurren Lagann, no, I think.
Not Gurren Lagann. That's Gynax, but same team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just hope. Yeah.
They also did Anime of the Century Inferno Cop, also known as Slideshow. Slideshow the movie.
You'll have to elaborate, Max. Just real quick.
Okay, all right. There's a cop with a flaming skull. There are no animations. It's just characters sliding around with stock fire footage, and everyone's voiced by the same person.
Sounds hilariously bad. It sounds hilariously bad.
There is a joke that the whole show was funded when the director saved money by just eating value meals.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's the last bit of news or last bit of things I wanted to talk about this week. Unless you guys have anything.
No.
Made note of. Nope. Okay. All right. That means it's time for us to get into our last segment of the show. It's a show now, boys. Which is what we've been, trying out. I know Ravenstorm, you talked about your pad.
Novation
Launchpad. Anything else you've been checking out, doing recently?
Not much, but I would like to say something further about the Launchpad. I think this has the potential to be a fantastic performable instrument. And I think that the majority of people who have one of these use it for mashups and taking samples and like being able to play those on demand.
DJs.
And yeah, that's cool and all, but it's seriously like it's got a lot of potential to be a performance instrument. I think it's really cool.
Can you program it to do like even just like regular computer functions?
I think so, because anything that will take MIDI and program it to a macro, I mean that's not.
I think that'd be kind of cool. I think that'd be kind of cool.
I think I'm actually gonna try that after this.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
Glad I inspired you. Okay. Anything else?
Are there buttons to change profiles on the fly with that thing?
Yep. There's 2 user modes. I think that's the most. That's the hardware fixed.
I mean,
maybe make more with software.
I think
that's not bad.
I think that's enough. But
unless you are a skilled professional, you don't need more than 2. Probably.
In which case, I don't think you'll be using a Novation Launchpad. I think you'll be using something better. And more complicated and a lot more expensive.
Indeed.
There's there's Ableton's actually proprietary controller. It's called the Ableton Push. I think this year they came out with the Ableton Push 2. And it has a function on it where you can basically press a button and then you can pick a scale, any scale. And then the buttons will be mapped only to that scale. And so sequentially, if you just hit them in order, you can go just the one long arpeggio, basically. And they have what's called note quantization, which is when you hit one note, it'll trigger several notes at the same time. And you can do a lot of macro stuff that's related to music. I think that's one of the reasons that it's so interesting. I think it's underutilized and underappreciated. I want to try to appreciate it. But I'm bad at Ableton, so that's a long way off at this point. Outright bad. Anyway, that's all.
All right.
Cool. Max?
Nothing. Just trying more out with the Steam controller. Recently, Dead Space.
Oh, back on it.
Oh well, I'll have to actually record a new episode. Tried recording something with a webcam, uh, taped to my head. Well,
Jesus,
actually
a
using rubber
truly
bands.
horrible experience.
Using rubber bands and surgery masks to put on my head.
Damn.
This controller was out of view the whole time. I went through like 8 minutes of necromorph hell, finding something that can't die.
Oh, is it
just
the white one, the xenomorph?
Wait, what?
The white one?
White one? I'm talking about Dead Space.
Yeah, no.
White one.
Yeah, there's one. There's the necromorph that can't die.
The regenerating one.
Yeah.
Are they white?
They're white in Dead Space 3, black in Dead Space 2, and pinkish red in Dead Space 1.
Ah.
But yeah, that one. And a room full of others. I could have used that video. And I don't want to record that again. But that's it. Good news is it supports simultaneous controller and mouse. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So
unlike
perfect for Steam controller use.
Yeah, unlike some other games that should have simultaneous.
Cough, cough, Fallout 4.
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, but that's it for me.
Yeah. So, how was it though? Or were we aiming? Were we aiming with the gyroscope or?
Both with the gyroscope and the touchpad, but mostly with the gyroscope, set at a higher than normal sensitivity, so that I could, when I shoot one arm, I could immediately switch to the other. It feels natural.
Nice.
Using the saw blades are a bit more difficult since I am swinging the thing around in desperation, but I could probably learn how to use it.
Okay. All right.
And that's about it for me.
Nice.
What about you, James?
Me? Oh, well. I have been playing way more video
you?
games than I should have been.
Indeed.
So Ravenstorm. So this week, Good Old Games had a sale. And the first day of sale had Star Wars games, and I picked up Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3D. I talked about it last week, but I finally bought it on GOG with a normal installation, and it installs perfectly fine, works perfectly on my computer now. No crazy bugs or anything like that. I didn't have to do any funky business, and that game holds up so well.
Really?
Yeah, I played so many hours of it as a child, and it's still good today. It is
good.
Absolutely super great fun, and it's also really hard. I forgot how hard this game was. I think as a kid I was used to throw. Another thing that I miss from old games is cheat codes, and I used to throw in all the cheat codes, and then play my game that way. But now I've been doing it with zero cheat codes, and wow, that game is hard. Very hard. Yeah, very hard. Yeah. And I think it still has my favorite dogfighting in any game at all. Like any game I've ever played has the best dogfighting.
3 degrees of freedom, 6 degrees of freedom.
Yeah.
3 axes of movement.
Right. Well, yeah, because you're in a starship, so you have to kind of loop around to do go in circles, but you can't go reverse, right? But yeah, it's super good fun. And actually, I've been playing it so much that I had a headache last night. Not because I think I was playing too many video games, but for random health related reasons. I had a headache last night, and I could hear TIE fighters in my sleep. I was dreaming. I had like rebel PTSD just hearing the screams of TIE fighters.
Speaking of which, I've been playing Battlefront because my brother bought a PS4.
Oh, wow.
And I've been playing Battlefront. And you know what? Post-beta, I gotta say, they made it better.
No?
Good to hear.
Balanced it, and it's actually kind of fun. That being said, both my brother and I do lead considerably, often top 3 most of the time.
It's a very easy game to play.
It is, and we use the shock blaster. This basically like a shotgun that shoots a giant blaster slug.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool
Mm-hmm.
and really overpowered, and very few people use it. It's very fun. Great fun.
Very exciting. Other than that, I've been playing a lot of Wolfenstein.
How far are you?
I can't tell. I'm in space right now, though.
Oh, okay. So, all right, you are a decent way of you're a decent way through. Maybe halfway. I don't know.
Yeah, I could tell it's gonna be a pretty long game. And I'm very much enjoying it. And I'm not trying to. I'm doing less of the completionist type thing and just kind of just playing it as I want and doing whatever I want. Not trying to worry about the story and trying to get every little bit of gaming pleasure out of it. I'm just trying to play it, and that's I'm a lot better. I'm better off that way. Sometimes we get too obsessed with trying doing the completionist thing, we forget about having fun. So it's important to just.
I guess so.
That's what video games are for. And I think that's it, really. I don't think I got any new gear in for once. I mean, I got some really nice espresso cups.
That still counts.
Yeah, that's still hardware technically.
Yeah, and then and I think that's it though. I took a personal day today, just like kind of relaxing. Or this weekend I took a personal weekend, just kind
personal
of relaxing.
weekend. Yeah,
not doing too much studying. Still doing some studying because I gotta get that in. But
finals.
Yeah, but still trying to relax. I've been reading more Neuromancer, and it's actually I'm finally like, have you ever like tried to read a book and you're just like I don't really get it, and then like after you read a while and you're like, all right, I mean you're like you kind of like with the pace of the book, and then you're just like, all right, you're gonna read it regularly now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like or like with any like piece of like media, really, it takes a little while to like kind of get with it, and then just like, all right, this is what I'm doing.
Or when you're going to bed, closing your eyes, thinking about the book, and then boom, you understand literally everything about it and connect all the dots. Has it ever happened to you?
If I think about it enough, it depends.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that's it. Do you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about? Any last minute things before I close out this podcast for good until next weekend?
For good.
Yeah.
If we even have time next weekend, I mean,
Finals
it will be in
for
the
us,
middle
right?
of finals. Yeah.
I'll try to find time though. I like to keep a consistent schedule for my podcast, but we'll
Do
see.
a solo cast if nothing else.
We'll see.
Ravenstorm talks to himself.
Yeah. Monologue, really. All right. So time to close out. So if you want to, remember to subscribe to our podcast channel. And don't forget to visit us over at addendum.com. We've got some cool stuff coming up. A lot of projects coming, and you could read about me choosing things, buying things, and more.
Indeed, you can. Gotta say, addendum.com is going to be updated around Christmas.
Yeah,
So don't really bother tuning in until then.
I mean, you can. It's a nice little preview.
You can, but you can't click anything really.
Yeah.
It won't lead you anywhere.
Yeah, we have a lot to work on, but
a long way to go. But hopefully at the end of this we'll have an actual, like a real
website.
not just a placeholder that kind of has some things, but a real, like an institution, an experience.
Yeah.
Sort of website.
And by Christmas time I'll have time to devote to the podcast and the website. So that'll be good. And so also this awesome outro music you're listening to right now is from Grant Webster, graciously provided to us by Grant Webster. You can check out his SoundCloud link in the video description. And you can follow me at the James Lee, Ravenstorm at. Is it Ravenstorm?
The Ravenstorm.
The Ravenstorm. At the Ravenstorm. Max, you'll probably start having videos soon-ish.
After 2 weeks, probably, yes.
Yeah. So when that comes around, I'll post your video description or your channel link.
Or
Check out Flux at getflux.com. I think you're welcome, guys at Flux.
Honestly, they've earned it.
They've earned it.
They've
Yeah.
earned it.
Yeah. Save my eyes. Without further ado, thanks for listening. On behalf of Ravenstorm, Max, and myself, we'll see you next time.